had to lift the car because this was under his fucking car. Like,
oh, it rolled that over, not you.
No, I got ran over. My legs were in between like the board and his fucking car.
Yo, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm super excited to take you on a pretty gnarly ride through parts of Atlanta, including a area of Atlanta that I think is pretty cool called the Gulch. That place is awesome. It's like stepping back in time to the original ground level of the city, and I can't wait to show you all the hidden gems that are down there and around the city. You'll notice some of the awesome footage that I got in this video I actually got during my regular rides that I do with the Onewheel electric unicycle and PEV group that is here based in Atlanta. I really love exploring the city on all my PEVs, and I'm planning on sharing more of those adventures on the channel. Specifically, I've got a modified Razor crazy cart that I am going to be making some more content on, and yeah, if anyone is interested in me doing a overall build breakdown on my crazy cart, let me know in the comments down below, and I will get around to getting a video like that together soon. But yeah, I'm really excited. You know, I've been into this hobby for quite a while. You know, building e-skates and riding e-bikes and riding Onewheels, and you know, it's just a pretty great time overall. I've met some super cool people, and it's been just such a good time. You know, anytime I get anything bothering me, it's personal stuff in life, it's just nothing like hopping on the board or hopping on the bike or hopping on the crazy cart to ride those problems away. So it's just something I've been into for a while, and I'm really excited to start being able to share some of this content on the channel for anyone that just wants to ride along with me and see how we do it here in the A. But with that, I am still figuring out the kind of content I want to make for this channel. If you guys have any ideas or suggestions, then please drop them in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you guys want to see, and it can give me some good ideas of what I can do here for y'all. But and yeah, don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you want to join me on the journey. If you don't, that's fine. But you know, I think you'd miss out on some cool stuff we got going on here. So anyway, enough talk. Let's get to the video and show off some of these trails.
Running straight into him and bouncing off because he expects him to turn into the right. Yeah. Well, let's go then. Is that like a mix between a Razor and a Surron?
I mean, it is a Razor frame.
Okay.
And I put there's a bolt-on kit that they make for these modded things.
So do they call it like a raisin or something?
A raisin. I like that idea. I like that word, raisin. So I bought this bike for $100, but I stripped it to the frame and the swing arm. Everything else is new parts. The battery was 900 because it's a pretty big 72 volt, 36 amp hour. It's probably the closest. It's about the biggest one you can fit in this frame because you're limited to the frame size with how big a battery you can go. Honestly, it's nice because I'm like, I got to build it. There you go. So next build, I'm thinking, because it's a different frame style, I can fit a bigger battery. I'm thinking I'm gonna do smaller wheels, because those things, it'll have me sitting lower, but it's like you have a hard time keeping it down on the ground. Whoa, this is a nice view. Wow, holy shit. Slow down for the police. Wow. Mercedes Benz, everybody. Here she blows.
So by this point in the ride, we are entering upon the Atlanta Gulch. This was a super cool area to ride through. It's actually got a lot of history tied to it. I think it's kind of interesting. So I got a friend of mine to explain sort of the what it is and the history behind the Gulch. He actually took a tour from a dude that does tours down there. I'll have to find his info, put it in the description if anyone's actually interested, but he took a tour. He's also majored in geography, not geology. He didn't study rocks, but yeah, he studied in geography and knows a lot about the city. And yeah, thought I'd throw it to him and have him explain a little bit about what it is.
So the Gulch, as it's currently called, is the original, like, ground level natural elevation of downtown Atlanta. Everything else that's higher than it and seemingly the ground level is actually just built up, like, on bridges, basically. And it's a big open pit because it was a big rail yard used by the rail companies at the time. Dating back to like the 1860s and 70s is when the first yards were, really fully fleshed out. And then by 1890 or 1900, they had built like the Cortlandt Street Bridge, and a few other bridges in that area got built up right after that. And then by the 1920s, they were starting to actually build up the ground level to be one story above the real ground level and kind of encapsulating a lot of the rail lines. And then, later on in the history, the west side of it started getting developed around, and because that's like coming down a hill, they're really built up high. So the ground level, so to speak, by like the Georgia, well, where the Georgia Dome was and Mercedes-Benz now, where they've got that art installation, it's like 250 feet off of the actual ground. And it's actually easier to see now that the dome is gone. But yeah, basically it was just an old rail yard. They closed it in, and then, you know, things come and go over the years. So, yeah. So to recap, in the 1850s and 60s, it was a rail yard that they were building, and it got massive, and then they built over it. And the ground level of downtown is not the actual natural elevation ground level. And to add, when they got rid of the tracks, they turned it all into parking because cars and car culture in the 1970s. And up until maybe 5 or 10 years ago, you could actually go down there and find mile marker 0. I think they put up a replica now that's down there, and then there was also, until about 10 years ago, there was a watchtower, or like a signal tower for the rail lines, but they tore it down, I think. Oh, and there's a guy that you might be able to find. I know he operated a Facebook group about 3 or 4 years ago when I was in college, and he does tours down there, and he'll actually go through all of that history more in depth, with more specific details. And he would take the class that I was in every semester on a free tour, like complimentary, since it was for a class about metropolitan Atlanta. So that's how I know what I know about it.